trying to introduce a new medical plan that would technically start February 1st. Mitch and Eric are on the Teams page to tell us about the enrollment. We're going to try to do online enrollment in January. So the cost of the plan is what's been published and emailed out to all of you. And the technical detail on the 3 different plans was also emailed out to everyone. And I have some hand printed summary sheets here if anybody wants to take the paper copy. And I think that's everything in a nutshell. I had a few caveats on my email, and we'll let Mitch and Eric go ahead and go forward from here.
Well, the good news is Brookfield is increased their contribution to $216 for employees per pay period, and another $50 on top of that towards dependents. And so that will make a difference as well. The plans are through Anthem, which is the largest network in the continental United States, and so that's a good thing as well. From a online enrollment standpoint, and Eric's going to walk you through that. There's going to be a portal that you guys will be able to access. Starting, I think, the 1st of January, we're gonna open it up, aren't we, Eric? Although,
yeah, for the enrollment piece, but we are going to. The site is live, the employee site, and we'll go over that when you're done, sir.
So why don't you go ahead and roll that out for them so they can see what the employee site looks like and how they can be able to take advantage of that.
Very good. And just to let everybody know, we are recording this for use later and for Carson and Katie to take a look at later. Okay, just letting you know. And
perfect.
Sharing. Okay. Could I get a yes or no if you guys can see the Brookfield School emblem currently?
Yes.
Okay, outstanding. So the one thing that we know the challenge with benefits is trying to navigate them, of course, but getting access to them can be such a challenge, as we know. So we've worked over this the last several months to build an employee site for your group to make everything that we think is needed one touch. So this is going to be something that everybody can look at on their phone. It's live now. Mitch, if you want to type into the chat box the web address, which is linqapp.com/Brookfield School. And you all can access this right now. This is live. So one of the things we know is that when you need benefits, as Mitch always shares, is that it's the most boring subject on earth, and then you want to be an expert. So we've kind of tried to take that off of the page by creating an emergency button. So when something happens, we go straight to this emergency button, and you push it on your phone. And share this text.
QAPP.
And can you see it says in case of emergency, dial 911?
Oh, no. There's a link right here on Teams.
Turn us on mute. Sorry.
That's okay. Did the pages change? Can you see the contact information page? Hello?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
Yes.
So at the top, you'll see where it says Health Anthem. So you'll find a doctor. You just click on this button. Now this is not going to be these parts are not going to be activated until the plan is effective. That's Galilee's question. But when when it is active, there's all will be buttons that you can push. Where it'll say find a doctor, find a dentist, find a vision provider, submit a claim. These will all be buttons, so it'll be an easy one-touch situation. So we're going back to our original page. We know how important it is to know what your out-of-pocket cost is for employees, because we know that if you don't know this, it's so often to run out of money before we run out of month, and we know it's important. So we created a page here, or it is also one-page touch to go and list what your company is doing for you. Can everybody see the benefits page, cost page?
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So we're not going to go over everything. This is more displaying the platform so you see what's accessible to you. It talks about what the company is doing for you, what Brookfield School is doing for everybody, the dollar amounts, and the important part is what is coming out of your check. And this amount here, these amounts are listed are what exactly comes out of your check, so you know and can do that math. That's
Nice.
Got
I heard
it.
somebody say nice, right? Okay, cool. That's what I like to hear. Go back here. Okay. Now fun stuff. The enrollment can be sometimes be a challenge, as we've all seen in the past, turning in forms and getting everything done that way. Well, we have taken that off the table by making it digital. So not only will you be able to enroll here, but when you have your username and password, you will also be able to access your benefits throughout the year whenever you have those benefit questions. Can everybody see a page with a bunch of tiles and folks on it?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, excellent. So this is where you're going to be doing your enrollments. What I did was we have a username and password so we can look at what it will look like for an employee. Okay, so give me a second.
While he's doing that, you will all receive welcome letters. Your username will be your email address, and then your password will be the last 4 digits of your social security number. That'll be on the welcome letters that you get.
Okay. So this is going to be what your home page is. So this is where the first thing you'll see once you log in. It'll give you the opportunity. This is your electronic signature so that you can begin your enrollments. When you're logging in, you'll be able to see those enrollments. It's not activated yet because I did not type in the signature page. So it does not let you do anything without entering your username and password. So going to home page. From this home page, you click on welcome. You can see exactly that it's going to talk about your who's eligible for coverage, dependents, basically everything you want to know about your benefits. You can click on the benefits tab, and here you can go to down the right column, and it's going to list your medical, dental, vision, all the plans. If we wanted to know exactly what the medical plans look like, without going through our emails, we can go right here. And this is going to list all 3 plans. You can see them on the left side. And this one that we're looking at currently is the guided access HMO. It's going to give you what I call helicopter view, which is the highlights, the deductibles, the co-insurance, the out-of-pocket maximum, so on and so forth, your emergency room, your cost, your urgent care costs. But if you want to get more specific, we can click the plan documents tab and click here, and it'll go directly to the plan benefit summary, which will give you all the details of the plan you'd ever want to know. Also involved with Anthem, it's going to give you a resource page with a phone number and the email address for getting to the Anthem website. When it comes to the resource page, I also want folks to refer to the tab left, which says the benefits desk. This is a team that we have in place to help you 24/7. Primarily, if we want to work in the Pacific time zone to make sure that but you can always get someone 24/7. Your call will be referred out if it's after hours, but you can always get answers to your questions. And these folks can help you with portal navigation. They can help you enroll in your benefits, and they can help you understand the eligibility requirements. They can help you basically navigate everything in case you have questions and you can't get a hold of us, or you just want access and want to have a quick question.
Let me ask, would this like if I had that pharmacy problem and I called Mitch and I didn't know who to call? Would I start
Yes,
here?
ma'am.
Okay.
Exactly. This is exactly where we want you to start. That's a great question. And to that piece, talking about the pharmacy question, we'll go back here to the page. There's actually included in this is GoodRx, so they can assist with discounts for your medication, and that is included with the benefits platform that we put in place, so everybody can get discounts on the medications.
On top of their regular medical insurance discounts.
That's correct. That's correct.
Excellent.
And then when some of this stuff, we're rolling this stuff out because we know that the enrollment doesn't start till the first of the year, but we know this is a very busy time of year, and everyone has free time at different times. So we want to make sure the information is available for folks to look at. Some of the features are not going to be activated until the plans are effective or we're in open enrollment, which is after the 1st of January. But this does give everybody the opportunity to examine the benefits they have, examine the plans, so they can make good, solid choices when the time comes.
It's important to note that open enrollment is going to end on the 17th of January, so we have time to be able to get all of the data over to Anthem. That's really important that everybody get everything done, whether or not you're enrolling or you're waiving, whatever it happens to be. We need these things addressed so that we know who to get enrolled and who to get waived, etc.
And so even the Brookfield will continue to offer First Stop Health, and there's a button here for logging in as well as frequently asked questions. And for those who have not utilized First Stop Health, we've included a video so you can learn a little bit about it, a short minute and a half or so. So folks look at it, see kind of what First Stop Health is all about if you haven't utilized it already.
So is their ID and password already in there for First Stop Health? Or
if an individual is not logged in, they will log in using their birthday.
Okay, because I don't know if everybody's got that detail.
And again, we're here to assist that because we will help facilitate that if someone has a challenge getting in.
I also included on the email that I sent to all the employees, either via Teams or via the email process. And if you didn't get it or can't find it, I'll be glad to send it out again. But Karen put together a couple of links, and one is for just guests to kind of search their doctor, see if their doctor's on the list and see if their doctor's on tier 1 list. So I tried it out. It worked really well. You know, the cheaper plan didn't have my doctor on the list, but the more expensive plans did. And whether they're in tier 1 or not is kind of important. So you might explain the difference between tier 1, etc. But if you don't have that link, I'll send it out again and you can Teams me if you need it again. But it's a good way to just go log in as a guest. And that's why you have to know the name of the plans, whether it's a PPO or a, what do you call it? Guided access or whatever, to be able to search and see if your doctor's on their lists.
Now, if you have a tier 1 and a tier 2, a plan that has those designations on it, tier 1 is Anthem's preferred providers, that kind of a thing. Anthem is still the largest network in the continental United States. Every single hospital and clinic that you're going to find here is going to be on their network. And so if you want to go ahead and research that, that is a good tool to be able to take advantage of.
Yeah, anybody that's on our existing medical, I want to make sure they have access to their existing doctors. So you need to let me know if you can't find the doctor or if you're having issues with finding which plan might be accepted by your doctor. The easiest answer is to call your provider directly. And I had people try this in the past and they don't have technically the right name of the plan or something. And then the doctor says, yeah, I think I'm covered under all those things. And then when they actually presented the card, it was worded slightly differently. So I think all the way everything's labeled on these guides that I gave you is what you would ask your doctor. If you're covered under this guided access or this, what was the other one called?
Well, the other two are PPOs, and the guided access is an HMO.
Right. So the guide, and the other one's called Anthem Choice. And I don't know what the Blue Secure, I think it's just PPO plain. I don't know what the name on Blue Secure is.
It is a PPO.
Yeah, but right. I think it's just a plain PPO when you're trying to ask your doctor. Because the Anthem Choice PPO asks for tier 1 or tier 2. So there's a little bit of difference. There's a lot more coverage for the plans if you stay within tier 1. On the middle of the road plan and the cheaper plan, the lower cost plan, you have to stay in that tier 1 category to make all those things work as described. And then the biggest caveat is the cheaper plan does not cover anything outside network, 0 coverage. So there's a big caveat on that cheaper plan is that you can't go outside the Anthem network for anything. I don't know. What about, the ambulance ride in the emergency room? I guess if there was a catastrophic accident, that might be covered if you're out of state or something.
Anytime you have an emergency, everything that gets done will be within network. That's across the United States.
Okay. You still should try to get to an Anthem facility rather than. I think the argument is which one was closest when it's an emergency. It's just whatever's closest. There was any other caveats? Did you have any other caveats on these 3 different plans? Anybody else? Karen or Mitch or Eric?
In my experience, I think it's important that what Mitch shared is that it's important to know so often people, there's stigmas with HMO versus PPOs. And the most important thing to know is that if you have health coverage, whether it's an HMO or PPO, it's always going to be in network wherever you are in the event of an emergency. Now, we had an employee share with us yesterday, well, how do we know what's classified as an emergency? And well, what are we going to do? The most important thing is to get yourself taken care of. Take care of yourself. Let us pick up our shields and swords, and then we'll do the fighting afterwards if it needs to be done. But always take care of yourself first. The things that matter when it comes to the difference between HMO and a PPO is that with an HMO, you need a referral. You need to refer for a doctor, whereas a PPO you do not. You need to refer to a specialist, whereas a PPO you do not need that same referral. So there's only a couple of small caveats, but that can matter if you have ongoing treatment. So that's probably, without getting into the weeds, because everybody's situation is different. We're going to forget everything if it doesn't relate to us. So the most important piece is we're always here to be contacted to help you navigate stuff, because that's why you have insurance, to deal with the unexpected.
I think the summary sheet that you had, that you typed up with the contact information to be able to see if your provider's on the list, also has the caveat of the 0 deductible plan. Understanding that that is a minimum coverage plan, and that HMOs you are directed to a small group of physicians, and and that's it. They tell you what you can have done, and they tell you also which medications that you can have. So just understanding that it is minimum coverage.
the word guided access is covering up that it is, they guide you to what they want you to do.
And who you get to see.
That was the one my doctor didn't show up on.
Were there any other questions?
Yeah, potentially. Let's open it up. Anybody have any questions? I think there was some, you have to,
Greta raised,
go ahead.
Greta, go ahead. You have to unmute.
We're typing in the chat.
Number 4, this. Yeah. Preferred provider, I think you need to have that. No, I think you have to have referral, even though it says PPO. You have to have a primary.
Okay, Greta, I think I know what your question is from the chat. That 216 is already factored in. And so those are going to be, that's going to be your costs.
Yeah, the employee costs listed here are the biweekly, every paycheck, 26 pays a year, deduction out of your check.
And that already accounts for Brookfield's contribution.
Correct.
It does not include the vision or dental, no.
Vision is
Vision is
free
Yeah.
for the employee, and the dental is $986 additional for the employee. Those are the same prices as September.
Yeah, that's because they're paying for 50% for an employee.
And I think there was something in the second level, the PPO for the mid-level plan. I think there was something in there about having to get a referral. I don't think it's 100% non-referral like the PPO 8 plan. That you have to have a primary care provider. Okay. Maybe that's how you get into tier 1 is with a referral. I don't know. Should be this.
This one. Yeah. What's that?
All right, any other questions? Anybody else have any other questions? You guys are awful quiet in here.
I think I have to study it all.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of detail.
Yes.
You guys feel free.
You know, we can all,
Go ahead.
we can, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'll go when you're done.
Yeah, I was gonna say, feel free to email me if you're having trouble with finding your doctor, or they're not on the list, or they are on the list, because I need to get a good feel for the people that are on our existing medical, that this transition will be painless. And if I feel, if you have pain, if afflicting you pain because your doctor's not on the list, I need to know right away. So the sooner you guys can let me know that the transition will or will not work with your existing doctor, let me know. Because I'll ask Mitch and Eric to help me to see what we can track down.
And you know, everyone, you know, the first time you see stuff, is always, that you're going to remember, just like with your students, they're going to remember it so much the first time, you remember a little more the second time, a little more the third time. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a date right after open enrollment starts, but obviously not on the first of the year, but on the second or the third, first week, to do exactly what we're doing here. We're going to set up a call, and then we're going to set up another one about 3 or 4 days before the end of open enrollment, to where we can make sure that if anybody has any question that's been nagging at them or something they can't resolve, because that way we make sure you've seen the information 3 times, had access to us 3 times, to where we can have these conversations to make sure we can set up an appointment if we need to, or answer questions that might come up.
Okay,
Perfect.
yes.
And I think, Greta, you had a comment, Greta. It says, just to clarify, it makes sense to go for a higher tier plan because that is what is provided. As far as I would answer that, is which plan you get depends on you and your family's personal circumstance. If you are healthy and don't have any ongoing health conditions, a higher deductible plan might make more sense to be less out of pocket. If you have conditions that are ongoing, then the lower deductible plan might make more sense. And maybe I'm not understanding your question. Yes, all the numbers shown are after Brookfield's contribution. That's what comes out of the employee's paycheck.
Every 2 weeks,
Yes, ma'am. Every 2 weeks.
every payroll. And I have a summary sheet here. I don't know if let me put it on there. Anyway, I have a little summary sheet comparing the 3 plans that talk about the out-of-pocket max and your deductible. All 3 of these plans have little less deductibles than our current prominence plans. But in the big picture, if you fall out of tier 1 and into tier 2, or out of network altogether, the max out of pocket can be quite a bit higher. So in the long run, even the top plan in the old days was like $4,000 deductible, and we're down to our top plan being a $2,500 deductible. So go ahead. What'd you say?
Hi, I was just wondering, when we were at the district, they would set aside like maybe 1 or 2 afternoons where the insurance people would come, and they would just have meeting times like every 15 minutes. And then the employees could go and meet, and that way they can ask their individual questions to a person sitting in front of them. I think you guys have way more knowledge and can explain it better. So I was wondering if maybe we could set something like that up, and then like during afternoon specials, and people could just sign up. Here's my 15-minute time if I have specific questions that I need to ask.
Of course.
Yeah, if you get a hold of us, we'll just arrange something that will work with your schedule.
And we can also have a couple of afternoon blocks where we're at the schools as well. That's what we did the last open enrollment. So
Yeah, it just seems to be easier if people couldn't like meet face to face and go through the plans that way.
Yeah, we won't be back till after, was it January 8th is our first day back after the break. So we can try to schedule something that first week, or
Absolutely.
right when we start rolling into open enrollment, so we're not rolling into that deadline on the 17th. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
To support what Karen said a minute ago, she referenced having a comparison sheet. There's also an actual comparison page on the employee benefit page, where it actually shows all 3 plans right next to each other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we knew that was important, and we know the comparison can be challenging. You got 1 page here and 1 page here, so they're basically exactly what Karen's got, but you've got it all on your phones.
I think that was on the Teams, the link.
Yeah, I think.
Already
I
saw that.
think Olsen put it out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if you go to your Teams, Miss Olson put the link app for the link for that app up on our Teams. So you can click on that at any time. And when you go to that, where do we find the comparison? Eric?
comparison, the compare, let me pull it up. We'll share it real quick again so I can walk you there. It is. Benefits. You want to go to, the, on the employee site. I'm gonna go back here, right, I can take there from the beginning. So you want to go to the benefits platform, which is the second blue button.
Got
And
it?
you want to click on that. You want to share that tab, so they're there. And then you want to click on the second tab here, which says My Benefit. And then once you're at the My Benefits, you're on the right side, it'll say Medical and Prescription Drugs. You click on that. And then the fourth tab is, it'll say Comparison. And then after that, then you can just scroll down and see whatever you're looking for on the helicopter view.
And once again, we're going to get your welcome letters out, so you can go ahead and after the first of the year, go ahead and log on. It's going to go through a couple of screens where it's going to ask for updating of personal information and revise your passwords, that kind of a thing. And then whenever you're ready, you can start executing stuff. You don't have to finish it all at one time. You can always go back in. You can also go ahead and change it up until the end of open enrollment.
All right. I'm having trouble. Excellent. All right. Anything else? All right. So in summary, we're going to set up some one-on-one meeting times when we get back January 8th that week with Eric and Mitch, whether it's a Zoom meeting or face-to-face. We'll see what we can schedule. And what time do your specials usually start? About 1:15 or 2-ish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually.
They're usually afternoon, early afternoon kind of time frames. So we'll pick a couple of days, like a Wednesday, Thursday or something, so everybody can have an opportunity to come ask questions.
We'll be available.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, yes.
All right. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all
everybody
for your time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Have Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry Christmas to everybody.